In September 2018, Glasgow Subway's new trains were revealed at Innotrans Berlin, an international trade and visitor fair for transport technology. The train's sleek design and clean interior almost forgotten amidst the speculation that these trains could run without a driver. Scotland is not unique and singular in this regard. Autonomous vehicles are being introduced the world over.
In Norway, an all-electric and what is expected to be the world's first autonomous container ship is beginning a 2-year pilot.
There's a whole patchwork of legality. A couple of states here in the United States have introduced laws so that these cars can be used on the roads.
I think there's actually no cars, no one in there. Wow, this is incredible.
Driverless vehicles exist on a spectrum of autonomy, levels 1 through 5. With everything up to level 3 requiring constant human input and attention. An argument could be made that autonomous vehicles under level 3, and especially cars, enable irresponsible and perhaps hazardous driving. During the early days of Google's self-driving car initiative in 2013, the company was developing a level 2 semi-autonomous system called Autopilot. Google employees were asked to drive the car and were instructed that they would be fully responsible for the vehicle and would be filmed at all times. Despite being required to pay attention to the road, some employees were found behaving extremely irresponsibly, doing their makeup or even sleeping. Google shut down the Autopilot program shortly thereafter. In 2021, 64% of British road accidents reported driver or rider error as a contributing factor. 17% reported impairment or distraction, and 22% reported injudicious action. This includes driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol, ignoring signs, speeding, or being distracted by a mobile phone. Yet in a 2022 report published by Lloyd's Register Foundation, shows that only 27% of the global population believe they would be safe in a driverless car. So here, at Stirling's Forth Valley College campus, I've decided to gauge the enthusiasm that a younger demographic may have for this emerging technology. If you were to take a trip in a driverless vehicle, would you have any reservations? Would you feel safe?
Probably not.
In Scotland there's a lot of like back roads and stuff like that, so I'd be a lot more nervous on like a back road, so yeah.
And so what would it take to convince you that it's 100% safe?
Someone else going around in it.
Despite the distrust shown by the public, driverless vehicles are shaping up to be a safer way to travel when compared to human drivers. Hitachi Rail, a Japanese-based railway company, remotely operates 2.4 kilometer long trains across 1,700 kilometers of track in Australia. These heavy haul trains can detect track hazards up to 1.5 kilometers away. On the opposite side of the world in California, Waymo, formerly Google's self-driving car program, launched the first driverless trip on public roads in 2015. In 2021, Waymo launched a driverless taxi service in San Francisco and partnered with J.B. Hunt to begin a test run of driverless long-haul freighters. They are now driving over 100,000 miles a week in level 4 AV vehicles. Waymo's vehicles are fitted with sophisticated computer software and a variety of sensors. These systems continually scan for objects around the vehicle and build a 3D image of the world around the car. These sensors are so sophisticated that they can detect a stop sign at 300 meters away. There are also several redundancy systems built into the vehicle. Waymo records this data, captured by its sensors, and uses it to train the rest of the fleet. They have since accumulated over 20 million miles of data driven on real roads. To put that in perspective, if you were to drive 100 miles a day, every day, it would take you over 500 years to reach that number. There's been a further 15 billion miles driven in simulation. As driverless vehicles of level 4 and above become increasingly prevalent, the government recently unveiled this plan to roll out self-driving vehicles, investing £100 million. According to a government report, 38,000 jobs could be created from this $42 billion industry. Based on the current pace of technological advancement and capital investment, it's clear that driverless vehicles will only become more prevalent as time goes on. Analysis by the Victoria Transport Policy Institute, an independent research organisation, suggests that autonomous vehicles may be commercially available and legal to own in some jurisdictions as early as the end of the 2020s. and will become normalized and commonplace by the 2040s. The potential benefits of self-driving vehicles are very appealing. Increased mobility and vehicle accessibility for the disabled and elderly, decreased public transport and shipping costs, and coupled with the rise of electric vehicles and renewable energy, a vital way to combat the emerging climate crisis.